The National Executive has just completed an emergency meeting which was called by the party leader in response to the developments last night. The party leader will make a formal statement and address to the nation, and we have decided that the party is going to make a very strong condemnation of the actions and the aggressive statement by the President of Guatemala. The People's United Party condemns in the strongest possible terms the aggression by Guatemala by amassing troops at the border. We also condemn and reject its assertion of sovereignty over the Sarstoon. The deployment of its naval and military forces in the Sarstoon constitutes a threat to peace and security in the region and between our two countries, and that is a breach of international law. The party continues to express its concern about the way in which this whole issue is being managed by the government. We have already expressed to the government our concern that the government of Guatemala is not acting in good faith and that we cannot continue to take them at their word. We continue to express concern about the way in which we appear to be focused solely on going to the ICJ, whilst at the same time the facts on the ground are changing and changing to our detriment. Our friends in conservation and development continue to report the increased presence and the increased illegal presence of Guatemalan nationals in the Chiquibol and other areas along the western frontier. We know as a fact that we are being prohibited from using the Sarstoon, and we know as a fact that they continue to plunder the resources in the southern waters of Belize. The PUP calls on the government to be aggressive, to deal with these matters in the most effective way, and we believe that the most effective way is to launch a diplomatic offensive where we can convince those persons and those countries who have an interest in maintaining peace and security in the region. Will call upon the government of Guatemala to desist from what they're doing, to take effective measures to stop their people coming across the border into Belize and plundering our resources and acting illegally. That responsibility falls squarely on the government. We are saying that the government must do its job, and we are saying that we are prepared to continue to work with the government to attain the just objectives for the Belizean people. We think as a first step, we should recall our ambassador to Guatemala, to Belize, for consultation. We made that request before and that suggestion before, and we repeat it now. We also believe that the government of Belize needs to activate the Organization of American States, the Caribbean Community, the United Nations itself, and in fact the Commonwealth, and to have the issue placed on their agenda on an urgent basis so that we can get resolutions from these organizations that affirm the respect for our territorial integrity and sovereignty. And finally, we call on the government to arrange at the soonest and earliest possible time a meeting between Belize and Guatemala at the highest level with the OAS present in order to reduce tensions, to remove the threat of Guatemala to Belize, and to return to a state of normalcy. In that regard, we again pledge our support and our willingness to participate with the government of Belize.